In a small village near the rice fields of Cambodia, a young woman named Lena lived with her grandparents. She was 24 years old and had never stepped out of her village. Her life was quiet, feeding the chickens, helping her grandmother cook, and walking through the muddy roads to bring water from the nearby well. But there was something about Lena that made her different from the others in the village. She dreamed of something bigger, something louder, something more foreign. Every night, she would stare at the stars and whisper in broken English, "One day, I speak like them foreigners who visited the village once a year with big cameras and kind smiles. They spoke English, clear, fast, powerful." Lena didn't understand most of what they said, but she loved how it sounded. To her, English was like a key to a new world, a world where she could be more than a farmer's granddaughter, a world where she could stand tall and speak without fear. One afternoon, while selling vegetables at the market, Lena overheard two young men speaking English. They were backpackers from New Zealand. They smiled at her and asked, "How much for the mangoes?" Lena froze. Her hands shook. Her mouth opened, but the words wouldn't come. She wanted to say $5, but her fear held her back. The young men waited, smiled again, and gently walked away. That night, she cried, not because she lost a sale, but because she felt lost in her own silence. That was the moment she promised herself, "Next time I will speak." The very next day, she borrowed an old phone from her cousin and searched for Learn English Fast. She clicked on many links, but one name stood out: Fluenta Institute Spoken English. There was a video. A girl from India was speaking confidently in English, telling her story just like Lena's. She had started from zero and now was teaching others. Lena's heart beat faster. Could this be her answer? She clicked on the next video. Learn Spoken English with Confidence, Fluenta Method. The teacher's voice was calm, clear, and full of kindness. He didn't speak too fast. He explained with examples. He said, "You don't need perfect grammar to speak. You need practice, belief, and the right mindset." Those words stayed with her. She joined the free demo class. Her internet was slow, and the sound kept cutting, but she didn't care. She repeated every word the teacher said. "Hello, my name is Lena. I want to speak English." At first, she felt shy. Her pronunciation was broken. Her sentences were not complete. But the Fluenta teacher always smiled and said, "You are doing great. Mistakes are part of learning." Slowly, she began to enjoy the classes. The method was simple. First, listen to English. Then speak small sentences. Then practice with scripts and real conversations. And most importantly, think in English. Every day she learned one new script. "Hello, nice to meet you. I am learning English. Can you help me? I believe in myself." She started talking to herself in English while feeding the chickens. She described her day while walking to the well. "Now I am going to bring water. The sun is hot. I feel thirsty, but I am strong." Her grandmother thought she was talking to spirits. One day, she recorded herself and uploaded it to a Facebook group called Fluenta Learners. People from all over the world commented, "Well done, Lena. Your confidence is inspiring. Keep going." For the first time in her life, Lena felt seen. She wasn't just a village girl anymore. She was a speaker, a learner, a growing version of herself. 3 months passed. Lena's English improved. She could now have small conversations with travelers. She started helping lost tourists in the market. One day, a woman from Canada said, Your English is so good. Are you a guide? Lena laughed and replied, No, I am a student of Fluenta Institute. The woman smiled. Well, they're doing a great job. Those words made Lena tear up, but that wasn't the end of her journey. Fluenta gave her more than spoken English. It gave her confidence, mindset, and courage. She learned something powerful from one of the Fluenta webinars. The 3 keys to speaking fluently. 1. Speak daily, even for 5 minutes. 2. Use real-life scripts, not boring grammar. 3. Believe you can. Lena followed this like a prayer. She wrote her goals on the wall. I will speak English every day. I will not be afraid of mistakes. I will help others learn. With time, Lena became a helper in the Fluenta student group. She started practicing with others, correcting gently, and motivating those who were just starting. A year passed. Lena was no longer just a student. She was a success story. She was invited to speak at a virtual event for Fluenta's top learners. She sat in front of her cousin's laptop, nervous but ready. When it was her turn, she spoke slowly, clearly, and with a warm smile. Hello everyone. My name is Lena. I am from Cambodia. I was scared to speak English. I had no money, no confidence, no good phone, but I had one thing: desire. I found Fluenta and everything changed. Today, I speak with tourists. I teach others. I believe in myself. If I can do it, so can you. Fluenta gave me wings. People clapped. Some cried, and in that moment, Lena wasn't just a girl from a village. She was a light for thousands. Today, Lena runs a small online channel where she helps people like her learn simple English. Her tagline is powerful. If you have a voice, you can learn. If you have a dream, you can fly. She always tells her students 3 things. Speak English like you're talking to a friend. Don't chase perfection, chase progress. Learn with love, not with pressure. Lena's story is not just about learning a language. It's about unlocking a life where you don't feel small, a life where your voice matters, a life where you are not afraid to speak, and that life began with one choice: clicking on a Fluenta spoken English video. So if you're listening today and you feel like you can't speak English, remember Lena. She didn't have fancy tools. She didn't have fast internet. She didn't have perfect grammar. She had will, and you do too. Speak from your heart, and if you don't know where to start, start with Fluenta. Lena's story began in the dusty corners of a forgotten village, but now it echoed through phones, laptops, and hearts across the world. People from different countries: India, Nigeria, Brazil, Vietnam, even Germany, were now watching her videos, learning from her scripts, and commenting in broken but brave English. Lena, you give me hope. I also want to speak. Thank you, teacher. She smiled at being called teacher because in her heart, she still felt like a student. And that's what made her special. One evening, as she sat beside her grandmother peeling potatoes, her phone buzzed. It was an email from Fluenta Institute. Subject: Congratulations, Lena, Fluenta Certified Language Mentor. Lena's eyes widened. She had completed every level: beginner, intermediate, fluent. And now, the Institute wanted her to officially join the mentorship program, helping guide new students. She hugged her grandmother and said in English, "Grandma, I got it. I'm a Fluenta mentor now." Her grandmother didn't understand the words, but she saw the tears in Lena's eyes. She held her hand and said, "You are a light now. Go shine." From that day, Lena's life changed once more. She began teaching small online classes. She shared real-life English-speaking examples. How to introduce yourself with confidence, how to speak to a stranger politely, how to order food in English, how to ask for help in a foreign city, how to speak during a job interview. But she didn't just teach sentences. She taught feelings. She said, when you say, "I can't speak," you're not bad at English, you're just scared. And that's okay. I was scared too. But fear is not your forever. Fluenta taught me that. Her classes were different from other classes. She didn't focus too much on grammar. She focused on powerful English scripts, emotional examples, and daily use sentences that made learners feel, yes, I can say this in real life. She would say, speak with your heart first. The tongue will follow. People loved her. One boy from a remote town in Pakistan wrote, Lena, I failed English in school, but when I watched your story, I cried. Then I tried. Now I can speak to my boss in English. Another girl from Africa said, I never believed in myself, but now I do. Because you believed first. Lena read every message. Sometimes she cried, sometimes she smiled, but every time she replied, you are not alone. Keep speaking. She remembered something her Fluenta teacher once said, don't learn English to impress others. Learn it to express yourself. She made that her teaching mantra, and people listened. A year later, Lena saved enough money from her classes and bought her first laptop. It was small secondhand, but to her it was magic. She started making YouTube videos. 5 English sentences to use every morning. How to speak English when you're shy. Motivational story. From silence to speaker, her video style was honest, simple, English, real emotion, kind tone. One video titled How English Changed My Life. Lena from Cambodia went viral. Over 1 million views in 2 months. People messaged her from America and Australia. A teacher in London invited her for a virtual panel. A school in the Philippines asked if she could speak to their students, and every time she spoke, she began with, Hello, my name is Lena. I learned English from Fluenta, and today, I'm here to tell you you can do it too. The more she spoke, the more lives she touched. She became a symbol for silent learners across the globe, and she always told her followers, practice daily. Even one sentence is enough. Listen to English like it's music. Speak like you're telling your story. Be patient with yourself. And remember, your English doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. Today, Lena lives in the same village. Her home is still small. She still helps her grandmother cook and feed the chickens, but inside her house, on the wall next to the kitchen, hangs a printed certificate. Fluenta Institute Global Mentor of the Year awarded to Lena for transforming lives through spoken English. Next to it, there's a photo of her smiling on her first video call with over 500 students from 20 countries, and beneath that photo, she wrote in neat, simple handwriting, Fluenta didn't just teach me English. It gave me my voice. Now, I will help others find theirs. So, if you're watching Lena's story now, and you're still scared to speak English, if you think you're too old, too shy, too poor, too late, Lena has something to say. It's never too late to find your voice. Don't wait for perfect English. Start with what you have right now. Speak, learn, grow, and if you need a guide, Fluenta is waiting for you. In the end, Lena's story is not just a story, It's a reminder that you don't need to be born confident, you just need one moment of courage, one right method, one belief that your voice matters, and from there, the world will listen. Lena's story began with fear, but now it echoes with faith. Months passed, and Lena's journey kept rising like a warm sun. She became a familiar face in the global Fluenta community. Every week, she hosted free Speak with Lena sessions where learners from different countries joined to practice simple conversations. People from Bangladesh, Nepal, Sudan, Sri Lanka, and even rural Mexico showed up, not just for lessons, but for hope. One evening, a girl named Amina joined the session from a refugee camp in Syria. She had no books, no classroom, no teacher, only a cracked phone and a dream. She typed shyly in the chat, "Lena ma'am, I want to speak English, but I feel broken." Lena took a deep breath and said with tears in her eyes, "Amina, I felt broken once too. But broken is not bad. Broken is how the light comes in." Then she slowly spoke, "Repeat after me. I am not broken. I am learning. I am becoming." Amina repeated, her voice shaking, "I am not broken. I am learning." Everyone clapped. The chat box flooded with hearts and applause. It was not just English practice. It was healing. It was Fluenta spoken English for real people, real emotions, and real dreams. Lena understood something very deep now. English was not just a language. It was a bridge from fear to freedom, from silence to voice, from I can't to I am ready. And this is what Fluenta Institute was teaching, not just tenses and verbs, but transformation. Lena had now designed her own simple learning cycle, inspired by Fluenta's methods, and she shared it with everyone. Lena's 5 golden steps to learn spoken English. 1. Speak before you're ready. Don't wait to be perfect. Say what you can, how you can. 2. Use small scripts daily. For example, "Hi, I'm learning English. Can you repeat, please? I didn't understand. Please say again." 3. Talk to yourself. Describe what you do. "I am cooking rice. Now I will call my friend." 4. Join a speaking group. Practice with others who are also learning. Support makes growth faster. 5. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Even one sentence is a victory. Her videos became global. In one, she gave a full-day routine in English. "I wake up at 6 a.m. I wash my face. I make tea for my grandmother. I walk in the garden. I learn English with Fluenta. I believe in my future." That video taught thousands of people how to use daily English confidently, without pressure. Another video taught how to introduce yourself in a job interview using a powerful Fluenta script. "Good morning. My name is Ramesh. I am from India. I have completed my degree in commerce. I am passionate about learning, and I'm improving my communication skills. I believe I can grow in your company." Her comment section became a community. People corrected each other kindly. They shared their own stories. They shared what they learned from Lena and from Fluenta. A boy from the Philippines posted, "Because of your script, I got my first job. Thank you, Lena." A woman from Nigeria wrote, "I am 42 years old. I never spoke English before. Now I talk to my customers with confidence." And a quiet man from a remote village in Assam said, "I watched all your videos at night when my children slept. Now I speak English with my boss. God bless you." And Lena always replied, I'm just a student like you. Thank you, Fluenta. One day, Fluenta Institute invited her to their live webinar, Voices of Change, from Learners to Leaders. When the host introduced her, he said, Lena didn't just learn English, she turned it into light for thousands. Lena smiled and began in soft, simple English. Hello everyone. I am Lena from Cambodia. I was once afraid to say even hello. I thought I was too poor, too shy to late, but Fluenta taught me a secret: you only need one thing to learn English: the courage to start. Now, I teach others, not because I am perfect, but because I know what it feels like to be silent. So, today, I tell you your English doesn't have to be big. It just has to be brave. The audience went silent, then erupted in applause. After the webinar, her inbox was full. A school in Kenya wanted her to speak to teenage girls. A women's empowerment group from Bangladesh asked her to mentor young mothers. A startup in India offered to fund her Speak from Your Village project, and Fluenta Institute. They invited her to co-create a new course, Fluenta for Beginners, the Lena Way. In this course, learners would not just get scripts and lessons but Lena's heart, her journey, her voice. Now, Lena is working on a small dream, a center in her village where children can come to speak, dream, and grow through English, not just to pass exams, but to build confidence. To break silence. To find their future. She calls it Fluenta Light Center, and on the gate, a small board reads, Speak your dream. Start with one sentence. We're here for you. If you've made it to the end of Lena's story, remember, this is not fiction. This is what happens when one girl dares to believe her voice matters. If Lena can do it, you can too, wherever you are, whatever your age. No matter your mistakes, you have a voice, you have a dream, and you have Fluenta, your partner in spoken English. Now is your time, not tomorrow, not later, today, right now. Speak your first sentence and let the journey begin. Say it with Lena. I believe in myself, I will speak English, and I will never give up. Lena's life continued to bloom like a flower that had finally seen the sun. With every passing week, more and more people from around the world joined her live sessions. Her YouTube channel, once just a humble space for practice, had now crossed 500,000 subscribers. But numbers didn't excite her. Voices did. Each voice that spoke up in her sessions, each learner who said, Hello, my name is, felt like a small victory for the world. They weren't just learning English, they were learning to believe in themselves. But Lena wasn't finished. She had a vision. She said, if one phone and one video changed my life, imagine what 1,000 voices speaking together could do. And so, with Fluenta's help, Lena launched something brand new. The Global Voice Project. This was not just a course. It was a movement, a digital village where people from any background, any age, any country could come together and do one thing: speak. No pressure, no judgment, just simple, spoken English practiced with love. Every week, Lena shared topics like how to speak English when you feel nervous, how to start a conversation with a stranger, what to say when you make a mistake, how to speak in an interview, even with basic English scripts for everyday life. Market, doctor, bus stop, phone call. Learners from over 40 countries joined her in these sessions. They spoke slowly, they laughed, they helped each other, and every session ended with Lena's words, We are not perfect. We are powerful. Every time we speak, we grow. Every sentence is a step toward your dream. Some learners even started their own speaking groups in their villages and towns, calling them Fluenta circles. In a small town in Uganda, a group of 6 boys learned how to introduce themselves using Lena's method. They recorded their video and sent it to her. She cried while watching it. In a city in India, a mother of 3 created a WhatsApp group named Fluenta Moms, where women practice English while cooking dinner, and in a refugee center in Jordan, children learn to say, "My name is." With big smiles, thanks to Lena's video, Fluenta Institute had started as a way to teach spoken English, but now it had become a source of courage, connection, and community. One day, Lena sat down to record her most emotional video yet. It was titled, "To the Person Who Thinks They Can't Speak English." She looked directly into the camera and said, "This message is for you, you who feel too old, you who failed in school, you who freeze when you try to speak. I was you. I couldn't say a single sentence without shaking, but I started anyway, and today I speak to the world, not because I'm special, but because I never gave up." If you are watching this, you are not alone. You are part of something beautiful. The Fluenta family is here. I am here. Now take a breath and say with me, "I will speak English. I believe in myself. My voice matters." That video touched millions. It was translated into 7 languages. It aired in classrooms, community centers, and small homes where dreams were waiting to be spoken. Soon after, Fluenta Institute named Lena as the global ambassador for spoken English empowerment. She traveled virtually to schools and workshops around the world, speaking live from her village in Cambodia, still sitting beside the same window with the same smile. People often asked her, "Lena, what's your secret?" And she always said, "There is no secret. I made mistakes. I cried. I repeated the same sentence 100 times, but I never stopped. That's the secret. Fluenta gave me the path. I just kept walking." Now, Lena's vision is expanding. She is building a spoken English learning app in partnership with Fluenta, full of real-life scripts, role plays, videos, and community challenges. It's called Speak with Lena. The app is not just about learning, it's about belonging. It includes daily 5-minute speaking challenges, emission motivational videos, peer speaking room, story-based English scripts, progress journals, and a beautiful section called Broken to Brave, real learner stories. And the first story, Lena's. Today, Lena still wakes up early. She still helps her grandmother. She still teaches under the mango tree some days when power goes out. But now, she is also changing the world, one sentence at a time. And if you are reading this, watching this, feeling afraid to speak, please remember her words. Your English does not have to be fancy. It just needs to be true. Start small, speak slow, speak with love, speak for you, because English is not just grammar. It is courage. It is connection. It is possibility. And with Fluenta and a little faith, so much is possible. The morning sun peeked over the hills of Lena's village, casting a golden light on the bamboo houses, dirt paths, and rice paddies. Birds chirped, roosters crowed, and inside a small home with a tin roof, Lena was live on camera, speaking to the world. "Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 1 of our 30-day speaking challenge. Today, we say it simple. I am learning English. I am not afraid. Over 5,000 people had joined the live stream from Bangladesh, from Ghana, from Myanmar, from Bolivia, from remote towns in China and Kenya. All kinds of people, housemates, factory workers, grandfathers, teenagers, street vendors, farmers, call center trainees, and even retired school teachers trying to rebuild confidence. Lena smiled, deeply moved. The dream that once sat quietly in her heart was now beating inside thousands of others, and she began. Today is not about speaking perfectly, it's about speaking bravely. Together, we will speak 3 simple sentences. Repeat after me. I am learning. I will speak English. I believe in my voice. Voices echoed through homes and phones across the globe. Some loud, some soft, some unsure, but all real. The chat exploded with messages. I am learning, ma'am. This is my first English sentence in public. I'm crying. I never believed I could say this. Thank you, Lena. You changed my life. Tears welled in Lena's eyes. That moment, her grandmother stepped in and gently placed a cup of tea beside her. She looked into the camera and in her soft voice said in English, "Thank you, world, for loving my Lena." The entire chat paused, then erupted in emotion. Grandma, your words made me cry. Thank you for raising a world teacher. Lena's light came from your love. Lena turned to her grandmother and whispered, "See, Grandma, even in English, we are heard." Weeks passed, and Lena's 30-day challenge became legendary. Each day had a theme. Day 2. How to say I need help in English. Day 5. Practice speaking to a stranger. Day 10. Daily routine in 10 sentences. Day 17. Saying sorry and thank you with confidence. Day 30. Your English story in 1 paragraph. By the final day, over 60,000 people had participated. Lena asked them to share a short video. Tell the world who you are and that you now speak English. Hundreds of videos poured in. A rickshaw driver from India looked into his phone and said, I am Ravi. I speak English now. Thank you, Fluenta. A single mother from the Philippines recorded, I'm Maria. I never believed in myself, but now I teach my son English too. A teenage girl from Rwanda said, I used to hide my voice. Now I help others speak. And a group of young boys from rural Cambodia stood proudly and shouted, We speak English with Lena. Lena watched every video with her hand on her heart. She whispered again and again, This is not just my story anymore. This is ours. Then one day, she received a call that would change her life again. It was from the United Nations Educational Program. A voice on the line said, Lena, your work has reached the world. We want to honor you as a Global Voice Ambassador for Language Empowerment. Will you speak at our international conference? Lena held the phone tightly for a moment. She forgot all her English. Her heart beat too fast. Then she remembered the first sentence she had ever learned from Fluenta. I am Lena. I am learning English. I am not afraid. She smiled and replied, Yes, I will speak. With love, the event was held virtually. On the day of the speech, Lena sat on her floor, laptop in front, grandmother beside her, Fluenta flag behind her. She looked into the camera and began in strong, simple English. My name is Lena. I come from a small village in Cambodia, A few years ago, I was afraid to say hello. Today, I speak to thousands, not because I'm smart, not because I'm lucky, but because someone believed in me, because Fluenta gave me a voice, and because I believed one sentence can change a life. She paused, smiled, and continued. To the world, I say, never underestimate the power of a quiet learner. When we speak with courage, we teach others to speak too. English is not just a language. It is a bridge, a key, a light, and every voice matters. Yours too. The screen filled with clapping emojis, standing ovations, tears. From that moment on, Lena became a symbol of global hope. Now, every time a new learner joins Fluenta and says, "I can't speak English, I am too late," they are shown one video first, Lena's story, and then they are given one script. I am a learner, I will speak English, I am not afraid, just like Lena, because if one girl from a quiet village could speak to the world, so can you. All it takes is one choice, one sentence, one voice, yours.